Welcome to Carolina Caring's annual service of remembrance and blessing. Although we are unable to gather in person this year, we are grateful that we have the opportunity to offer this service virtually, and we appreciate you joining us today to pause and to remember. Thank you for allowing our hospice to serve and care for your loved one, and for letting us walk with you along your journey. It was our honor and our privilege. In the packet that you received in the mail, you have the program to follow along and at times even participate in the service with us. You should each have a leaf and be sure to have a pen or a marker, which we will use later. Thanks again for joining us. And as you reflect and as you remember, may your loved ones be honored and may you be blessed through this service.
In the presence of death, we turn instinctively to others for comfort and strength, and it is given. A warm hand clasp, a quiet word, a gracious deed. The very fact that you have joined us are ways of saying in time of grief that we care. We all have suffered, or will someday suffer, sorrow and loss. Today, we offer companionship and support. You do not walk the way of sadness alone. Wish I was with you now to see you smile again. I wish we had more time, but time goes by so fast. A moment comes and then a moment passes by in the blink of an eye. And if I had one wish, wouldn't ask for money, wouldn't ask for fame. I wouldn't ask for the power to make this world change. If I could have one thing, that's one thing that I would choose. Is one more ordinary day with you. I wish I could see you and be there when my arms could reach. I wish I could let you know how much you touched my life. Maybe a little time is all the time we get. The words we long to say are words that no one said. You can't go back again. But if I had one wish, wouldn't ask for money, wouldn't ask for fame. I wouldn't ask for the power to make this world change. If I could have one thing, that's one thing that I would choose. Is one more ordinary day. I wish we had more time, but time goes by so fast. A moment comes and then a moment passes by in the blink of an eye. And if I had one wish, wouldn't ask for money, wouldn't ask for fame. I wouldn't ask for the power to make this world change. If I could have one thing, that's one thing that I would choose. Is one more ordinary day with you. An ordinary day with you. With you.
Let us remember those who have been a light to us, memorializing our relationship in a ceremony of candlelight and love. I invite you to collectively respond after each lighting of a candle where it says all in your program. We light a candle in memory of those who have handed us the gift of life itself. We honor those who have given us birth, who have nurtured us, and those who have endowed us with heritage and raised us, those who offer us love and have cherished us.
We remember our mothers and fathers, grandparents, great-grandparents, and all our ancestors through the ages. We remember also those who were as mother and father to us, loving us by choice rather than chance.
We light a candle in memory of those whom we discovered through the eyes of love in our journey through life, those who have made our time on earth more enjoyable and our experiences in the world more memorable. We remember the ones who worked with us and played with us, holding sacred the remembrances of those who brighten our days with affection and who lit up our lives with devotion.
We remember wives and husbands, partners dearest and closest friends, those who opened us to ourselves and to life, even as we opened ourselves to them, and now to eternity.
We light a candle in memory of those whom we ourselves have passed on the precious gift of life. We hold dear to our hearts those who have held in our arms and in our dreams.
We remember children who have gone before us, and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. We remember both those who lived within the womb and those who danced upon the earth.
We light a candle in memory of those who have been linked with us in the ongoing chain of family life. We honor those who have shared our heredity and who have experienced our common bonds.
We remember sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles, relatives near and distant throughout time.
We have a final candle unlit, aware of the fact that others will join our ranks in the days to come. That they are doing so now. They will stand where we now stand and feel what we feel now. Our hearts reach out to them.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was found, oh, now I was grace that touched my heart to feel, and grace my fears relieved. The precious gift that grace of me, our Father's has promised good to me. His word, my hope, save knows. He will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures.
Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8. For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to cry and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to turn away, a time to search and a time to quit searching, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be quiet and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace.
The Fall of Freddie the Leaf was written by Leo Viscaglia. It is a wise but simple story about a leaf named Freddie. The story shares how Freddie and his companion leaves change with the passing seasons before falling to the ground with winter snow. This inspiring story illustrates the delicate balance between life and death. Spring has passed. So had summer. Freddie the leaf had grown large. He had first appeared in spring as a small sprout on a rather large branch at the top of a tall tree. Freddie was surrounded by hundreds of other leaves, just like himself, or so it seemed. Soon he discovered that no two leaves were alike, even though they were on the same tree. Daniel was the leaf next to him. They had learned to dance in the spring breezes, bask lazily in the summer sun, and wash off in the cooling rains. Daniel was Freddie's best friend. He was the largest leaf on the limb and seemed to have been there before anyone else. Daniel was also the wisest among them. It was Daniel who told them that they were part of the tree. It was Daniel who told them that the tree had strong roots, which were hidden in the ground below. He explained about the sun and the moon, the stars, and the seasons. Freddie loved being a leaf. He loved his branch, his leafy friends, his place high in the sky, the wind that jostled him about, the sun rays that warmed him, and the moon that covered him with soft white shadows. Summer had been especially nice. The long, hot days felt good. There were many people in the park that summer, often sitting under Freddie's tree. Daniel told him that giving shade was part of his purpose. "What's a purpose?" Freddie asked. "It's a reason for being," Daniel answered. "To make things more pleasant for others is a reason for being. To make shade for old people to escape the heat. To provide a cool place for children to come and play. These are all reasons for being." Freddie especially liked the old people who talked in whispers of times past. The children were fun too. He enjoyed watching them run so fast and laugh so much. But Freddie's summer soon passed. It vanished on an October night. He had never felt so cold, and all of the leaves shivered with the cold. They were coated with a thin layer of white, which quickly melted and left them dew-drenched and sparkling in the morning sun. Daniel explained that they had just experienced their first frost, the sign that it was fall and that winter would soon come. Almost at once, the tree was transformed into a blaze of color. Daniel was a deep purple, and Freddie was red and gold. How beautiful they looked. Why did we turn different colors? Freddie asked. We're on the same tree. Each of us is different, Daniel said. We have had different experiences. We have faced the sun differently. We have cast shade differently. Why should we not have different colors? The wonderful season is called fall. Well, one day, a very strange thing happened. The same breezes that had made them dance began to push and pull at their stems, almost as if they were angry. Some of the leaves were torn from their branches, swept up in the wind, and dropped to the ground. All the leaves became frightened. What's happening? Freddie whispered. It happens in the fall, Daniel told him. It's the time for leaves to change their home. Some people call it to die. Will we die? Freddie asked. Yes, Daniel answered. Everything dies. No matter how big or small, how weak or strong, we first do our job. We experience the sun and the moon and the wind and the rain. We learn to dance and we learn to laugh. And then we die. I won't die, said Freddie with determination. Will you, Daniel? Yes, said Daniel, when it's my time. When is that? Freddie asked. No one knows for sure. Freddie noticed other leaves falling, and he thought it must be their time. Some leaves lashed back at the wind as they fell, and others they simply let go and dropped quietly. Soon the tree was almost bare. I'm afraid to die, Freddie told Daniel. I don't know what's down there. We all fear what we don't know, Freddie. It's natural. You were not afraid when spring became summer or when summer became fall. They were natural changes. Why should you be afraid of the season of death? Does the tree die too? Freddie asked. Someday, but there is something much stronger than the tree. It is life. That lasts forever, and we are all part of life. Will we return in the spring? We will not, but life will, Daniel answered. Well, then what has been the reason for all of this? Why are we here if we only have to fall and die? Questioned Freddie. Daniel looked at him and answered, It's been about the sun and the moon. It's been about happy times together. It's been about the shade and the old people and the children. It's been about the colors in the fall. It's been about seasons. Isn't that enough? That afternoon, in the golden light of dusk, Daniel let go. He fell effortlessly. He seemed to smile peacefully as he fell. Goodbye for now, Freddie, he said. Then Freddie was all alone, the only leaf left on his branch. The first snow fell the following morning. It was soft, white, and gentle, but it was bitter cold. Freddie found himself losing his color and becoming brittle. It was constantly cold, and the snow, it weighed so heavily upon him. At dawn, the wind came that took Freddie from his branch. It didn't hurt at all. He felt himself float quietly, gently, and softly downward. As he fell, he saw the whole tree for the first time. How strong and firm it was. He was sure that it would live a long time, and he knew that he had been part of its life, and it made him proud. Freddie landed on a clump of snow. Somehow, it felt soft and even warm. In this new position, he was more comfortable than he had ever been. He did not know that spring would follow the winter, and that the snow would melt into water. He did not know that what appeared to be his dried, useless self would join with the water and serve to make that tree stronger. Most of all, Freddie did not know that there, asleep in the tree and the ground, were already plans for new leaves in the spring. The beginning.
Now, we're going to give you a few minutes for reflection. We would like for you to write your loved one's name on the leaf or a piece of paper. Then, after you write your loved one's name on the leaf, take time to hold your leaf, to speak your loved one's name out loud, and share a word or two that describes your loved one or how he or she blessed your life. As you reflect, piano music will play softly until we move to the next song in the closing prayer. And now, may we gather our hearts together for a moment of prayer. Holy God, your creation was designed for change. We see it with each colorful leaf that falls gently to the earth with the wind of coming winter. We need to tell you, God, that change and loss are difficult for us. We also know that you created us to love and be in relationship with one another. This loving makes us vulnerable to hurt and loss. Today, we are bringing you our thanksgiving and our pain. We lift up our tender hearts, along with all our tender memories. We thank you for each person, each loved one we are remembering today. We love them, we miss them, and we are thankful to have them forever in our hearts. Amen. And now, may God hold you close and guide you through this season and every season of your life. Peace.
Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Lord turn his face toward you and give peace.
Bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Lord, turn his face toward you and give you peace. Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Lord turn his face toward you and give peace. His favor upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his presence go before you, and behind you, and beside you, all around you, and within you. He is with you, he is with you, in the morning, in the evening, in your coming, and your going, in your leaving, and rejoicing. He is for you, he is for you.